Hello there! Welcome back to another episode of Unboxing Boxes. This episode's set to be just as crazy as the previous. On hand we have many boxes, which presumably have more boxes inside. And as you would have guessed it, we're unboxing them. So, to prove that what I just said is indeed true, let's open up one of these suckers to reveal the glorious tech within. I think this rectangular box is probably a good starting point, or as good as any starting point that we have here. It's long and rectangular. There is... oh, it's probably from Logitech, if the name on the box is anything to go by. Bit of a giveaway. But I'll use my trusty little multi-tool here and we'll work out exactly what's inside. Right, okay. So, what we have here looks to be some familiar faces. I think both these products have already been reviewed on the channel, so maybe a shipping error. Oh well, we'll take a look anyway and see what's going on here. So we've got the Orion Spectrum, which is the RGB version of the G910, and we have already reviewed that on the channel, so maybe Logitech's just sending one for me to use, because I know Matt has been using this sort of on and off as his daily driver. He can't work out whether he likes the feel of the keys or not. But I've used the Roma Gs a bit. I don't mind them either, but yeah, I don't know if I've made up my mind whether I like them or not. They're definitely mushier sort of feeling to the cherries. I really like Matt, I like the blue Cherry MX keys, the tactile feel of those. They are quite loud, but they're one of those things, they're just satisfying to use, I find. But anyway, still very good keyboard, and I will have a play with that, although we have reviewed it. And, okay. I didn't even know these existed, although they're obviously very new. We have reviewed these on the channel, and they are very good, except what we have here is the white, or rather, snow edition of the G933 Artemis Spectrums. Okay. Again, this is another product that Matt actually uses. He uses these as his daily drivers full time. I think on his editing rig though he uses the H5s or H7s from Creative, but on his gaming rig I believe he's using these at the moment. And he has been since he reviewed them. He loves them, and the freedom of wireless is obviously great. But these were addressed to me, so I think I will be keeping these to use on my gaming machine, which is actually Matt's gaming machine at the moment. I'm using the P3 Thermaltake water-cooled thing. We were having some problems with that. Not to do with the water cooling, that's all working fine. But yeah, another problem that I'll hopefully have the part to fix in the next episode of Unboxing Boxes next week. So, and I'll probably go into that in a bit more detail then, and we'll install it and see if we can fix the problem that I haven't told you what it is yet. We'll keep that as a surprise. But anyway, we've got these. Since I'm not going to be doing a review on them since we've already reviewed them, I'll take them out and have a look, because it is the new Snow Edition, apparently, and they're white. So let's have a look at them. Oh, ooh, very nice. That's cool. Very cool. Very nice indeed. Okay, so we've got the USB cable to charge them up. Standard 3.5mm audio jack to a pair of RCAs. And well, you got your inline remote there, extension lead, a few other things, so that's all good. Game with passion, game with science. Cool. I actually think I prefer the look of the white ones to the black ones. I don't know. If you had a black and white build, these would be very, very cool to have. So we got... if you guys have seen a review of these before or have them, then you'll be familiar with everything, because nothing, I believe, has been changed apart from the colour. Still got those nice magnetic side covers, which have the same design as far as I can tell. The fold down mic looks exactly the same. I'll probably throw in some B-roll here so you guys can get a closer, better look, but I have to say they are very cool. Very cool indeed. And we should have the battery in that side. Probably not wise to fire these up without charging them first, but what the hell. Ooh, there we go, they do light up. I don't know how well you guys can see that with the bright light shining on them. Very comfortable. I can see why Matt likes using these. I don't even have the Linus problem. Oh, maybe I do. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're not going to fall off easily, but yeah, if you throw your head back, they're going for a ride. But that's sort of to be expected. Actually, I think Linus was the only one that they did stay on his head. I think it was Luke where they kept coming off. But anyway, Matt didn't have that problem. They stuck on his head well, and they seem pretty good on mine. So anyway, very cool. Love the look of the white ones. Hopefully I got some good B-roll that gave you a good look at them. And this will probably be an excuse to play some Battlefield 1 or something later on today. Might see how Matt's going if he's keen to play some games. Anyway, I'll put them away for now. We'll move on. I'll sit them down with the keyboard. Alright, next up, what shall we look at? I think we'll get this out of the way, this big box. This black shrink wrapped box looks suspiciously like a case. It is very well wrapped, but we'll get it off and we'll find out what lurks inside. I think that's enough cutting. This is something I ordered, and I have to say I really appreciate the retailer taking the time to shrink wrap this to respect the Unboxing Box's protests and concealing the case's identity. I know that the suspense was killing you guys on this one, so I'm glad they played along. But as you can see now, it is the Precision PS09, and it's a great little micro ATX, this case. I'll get it out of the box and give you guys a better look at it. Alright, please don't static shock me. That we're good. It's very light, this case, but it is a micro ATX case. It's almost weightless for its size. Right, so the PS09 isn't a case I got in for review. This is something I purchased for a friend, a build I'm doing for a friend anyway. And the reason we got this case was because, apart from being cheap, it is a really nice understated case. It's clean, elegant looking design, and they didn't want a crazy gaming case that had machine guns and rocket launchers and ammo crates all over it, and big bulletproof windows. So they just wanted something that looked like maybe an adult owns. Of course, that's not to say that machine gun covered cases aren't cool and big windows. We do have, they have their time and place, and we do love them at Harbour Unboxed, but for this particular build, it wasn't going to be suitable. So that's why we have this thing. Some of the highlights of this case, some of the nice features are, it's basically designed to be an affordable sort of soundproof, or at least sound deadening sort of case. And that's why you get these foam door panels, which is quite a nice feature at the price point, which I should mention the price. It's only 45 Aussie dollars this case, which is pretty, I mean, you don't get a power supply in that package, but usually you only get pretty crappy power supplies with cheap cases that include them, so you are free to put in whatever power supply you want. But again, another nice foam padded door which will absorb any fan noises and whirring noises coming from the case. All the motherboard standoffs, screws, thumb screws, the whole lot, they're all black, so you'll be able to match the design. You won't have any shiny screws standing out, and as you can see, it's all black inside, so although there isn't a window to show it off, you should be able to create a pretty neat and cool looking build in this little case. Something else that's really, really cool, you'll notice we've got the USB 3 front header, and a lot of the budget cases still have, you know, predominantly USB 2 with like one USB 3 connector, which I don't get the point of since it's backwards compatible. But you get the two USB 3s on this case, so that's a lot better. I think the in-win case we looked at last week had two USB 2s and one USB 3. I don't really know what the point of that is, because you can even get adapters at this end that go from USB 3 to USB 2, any way to turn them into USB 2s if your motherboard doesn't support USB 3, which some budget boards don't, but I mean, going forward it's becoming less and less common. So I think that's a cool feature of this case. More cool features are, got a huge you know, motherboard backplate cut out here for installing aftermarket CPU coolers and stuff without having to remove the motherboard. So that's a very cool, handy feature, which, although it is becoming standard, it's not always found in real cheap budget cases. And I've even found, especially in smaller micro ATX cases, the cutout's quite small because they usually use thin, flimsy materials and they don't want the whole motherboard tray flopping all over the place. And it's not always compatible, so your motherboard might have the CPU socket offset slightly, which might be in a slightly unusual position, and then you can't properly get the backplate in. But we've got a nice big cutout here, which is definitely going to suit all micro ATX motherboards, no doubt about it. As far as cooling goes, it does come with one front-mounted 120mm fan pre-installed. Looks like you can install another 80mm fan, and it looks like in the back here probably an 80 or 90mm fan as well, definitely not 120. Another cool feature, often micro ATX cases, being that they are quite small, are limited to how much length you can get with your graphics card in there. But because they've moved the 3.5-inch drive bay sort of up, and you would have your expansion cards down here, and if you can see it, basically you have the full length of the case for your graphics card. So that means you can have up to about 14-inch graphics cards, which is like 380mm or something like that. Basically, you could fit a Titan XP in there, no dramas. I don't imagine you'll do that, but you could. And yeah, as I said, it's a very light case. It's only 3.3 kilos or thereabouts, but extremely light. Obviously the doors aren't on, but they weigh virtually nothing as well. It is all steel, but it's quite thin, but it's not too thin that it's flimsy. It's quite stiff, and they've done plenty of folds as well to strengthen anywhere that they've cut out. And then the front panel is the only plastic part of the case, but they say it's high strength plastic. I don't know, it looks kind of cool. It's been given like a brushed sort of aluminium looking texture finish. Same with the 5.25-inch drive bay covers. So that's nice. And then on the side you've got the power button tucked away there. Another cool feature of the case is the dust filters. They're not that easy to get out, these ones, or at least they're not on this angle. I need some nails. But they are removable dust filters in the side here. So if you had a little flathead screwdriver or something like that, you can whip them out. And when you get clogged up with dust, take them out, give them a blast out, and put them back in. And that should help you keep the dust out. And they're on both sides of the case, so that's cool. Might pop this off to have a look behind here to see what's hiding. Okay, oh, the dust filters just fall out if you take the front panel off, so that's a quick way to get both of them out, I suppose, if you don't have any tools. But there's your 120mm front intake fan, which draws air in through the side of the front panel through these. So again, it is filtered, so you shouldn't be sucking too much dust and stuff in there. But yeah, very simple, but a cheap case. Cheap but good build quality, which is something I should emphasize. Why must I do these things on awkward angles all the time? Right, all back together. So again, awesome value case for $45 Aussie. It's really good, and for the American viewers, it's about $40 US, I think. So similar cost there between the Aussies and the Americans. And just to be clear, we didn't get this as a review sample. This is genuinely a product I would buy for myself, which I have done. That's going to a friend. So yeah, it's a case that I think is genuinely good value, good build quality, good value for money. Good value. Did I say that? It's good value. Alright, let's put this one away and move on. We will switch back to the boxes on my right, or box. It's probably the heaviest one we've had so far. Does that mean there'll be something good inside? It's got a lot of tape on it. Not sure if that's an indicator of anything. Oh. Okay. It's a box within a heavily tape wrapped... Oh, I can't even get this out. Hang on, flip it up. Wow. Well, whoever sent this obviously thought it was quite valuable, and I'm worried about it getting damaged. I want to be careful how I cut into this. Oh boy. I think we've gone and done it again. We have here what looks to be mostly a keyboard unboxing. I believe what we have here is 2 keyboards. We won't be reviewing these on the channel. Z77. I think this is the same brand that made the cheap $35 or $30-ish mechanical keyboard that Matt reviewed a while ago, and we've since bought another one to see how the quality of that was, and it seems fine. In fact, it was actually slightly better than the review sample, which is odd. We bought that a month or 2 after the review. And we've picked up another 2, but these are the full-size version. I think it's, hopefully there's a black and a white one. Yeah, I don't read Chinese, so we'll have to just open them up and find out what the hell we've actually got here. But we wanted to do another article, because we've been so happy with the $35 keyboard. It's amazing. Like, I mean, it doesn't look particularly nice, but the most important thing is it feels good. It's great to type on. Accuracy is very good. Feels very good. It actually sounds quite good as well. Very similar to the they call them green switches, but they very identical, or very similar, I should say, to the Cherry MX Blues. And no problems yet. So I mean, you're sort of paying. Well, I think they work out to be about 40, 50 Aussie dollars, and you're paying 2-3 times that for a similar sort of keyboard with Cherry MXs, so great value keyboards. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we've got here, but okay. Oh wow, this looks a lot nicer. I don't know what this is worth actually, but this looks significantly nicer than the one Matt got, which I might have laying around here somewhere. I think he's using the newer one at times. Wow, okay, this is pretty cool. I might go and find out what this is retailing for, because this is very nice. So this is obviously the white, or at least white silver version. Similar font on the keycaps, but I don't think it's quite as ugly as the other one. I don't know if it's individually, like each row has a different color light. Hopefully not, because that was one of the things we really didn't like about the original one that we reviewed. Just got any battery? Of course not. Why would it? Okay, so this is an RGB keyboard, which is very cool, and it even comes with some replacement switches. So that's very cool. There's a little tool in there to replace them. So it looks like you've got half a dozen switches or thereabouts. 5 switches. 5 spare switches. That's very cool. Plastic palm rest. Clips on. I think a bit of force is required here. Yep. So that is pretty cool. It isn't $30 though. I'll just break the bad news to you guys. It looks like it's like $100, $90 to $100 on Amazon. So yeah, still a cool keyboard. Got some nice features. The RGB lighting's cool, and it looks like you can change that around to light up different sections of the keyboard a bit differently with different colors. We'll take a quick look at the other model, see if that's any different. It's the Falcon Z77, which is what that one also is. I suspect though this is probably the black model. Yep, it's looking that way. Yep, so the same keyboard, same keycap font and all that. Same switches, you get again 5 spare switches. And you also get a black honeycomb sort of glossy looking wrist rest, which as we just found out you have to force on quite well, but it also doesn't come off easily. And it's adjustable. You got some height adjusting legs if you want to change the angle of attack. Got some cleaning up to do after this episode. Get that off. And we'll have a quick look at the lighting on this one as well. But it'll be the same. So there you go, I don't know if you can see it flashing, cycling through the colours. But it is RGB. And there's some, not sure how well you can see all them on camera with the bright light aimed at it. But yeah, cool looking keyboards. They, as far as we can tell, the quality of them's quite good. But $100, you're sort of getting up there towards the well-known brands, which is a bit of a shame. I was hoping they'd be sort of around the $70 mark, which they could be. I've only seen one seller selling them, and I'm not sure if it's actually the seller that even sent these to us. So I'm not even sure what we paid for them. But anyway, the last box. We should cherish this. Our time together is fleeting. We have to wait a whole week before we get to do this again. But I think this is a care package from G.Skill. I think there's some pretty cool stuff in this one. They usually look after us, so we'll check it out. This stuff was sent, or this is sponsored hardware. This was sent to support the channel with our testing. Stock up our test systems. Alright. Bubble wrap. More bubble wrap. Okay, so we got one box that's very heavy. I don't know how much memory is in that, but it's heavy. We got a little retail box. We've got, looks like a dual channel, dual stick kit there. And that's it. I think that's probably plenty, really. Alright. 3 boxes of memory, all of which looks to be DDR4. So let's check it all out. So we have some DDR4 3000 memory here. Ripjaws V DDR4 memory in black. They look pretty cool. And that is a 16 gig kit there. What is that worth? Might as well tell you guys while I'm here. Right, so this stuff is selling for $113 US. So I think that's pretty good, really. But it's good looking memory. Should go well with, again, any sort of, well, black themed, basically any build really. But black and red, black and white, anything like that, it would look. We used the Trident Z memory in the P3 build, but this would also look cool in that build. So basic sort of memory, but pretty cool. This stuff we got some more of this recently, actually. Here we go. We got another kit of this, though this box is a bit thicker. So what's the difference? This kit we picked up for the upcoming build that's been upcoming for a long time. We're waiting on one more component for that. It's the GTX 1070 WindForce card from Gigabyte. Just keeps getting delayed and delayed, but we're supposed to be getting that card this week, so next week we will have that build finally. Anyway, for that build we have a 16GB kit of DDR4 3200 memory. So two 8GB modules of the Trident Z memory. So that's pretty cool. So that's for that build, but what we have today is DDR4 3000 memory. Then this is 4 sticks, so a 32GB kit, 4 8GB sticks. So we'll take a peek at that memory. And the Trident Z again is the memory we used in that Core P3 build. But we used the black and white stuff, and this is the black and red with sort of a greyish silver colour on the other side. This memory has been getting around for a while, so you guys have probably seen it. But it's pretty cool. Looks pretty good. Again, if you've, not many people do the red and black build, of course, so I don't know why they've gone with this colour scheme option for the series, but if you do happen to have a red and black build, just by chance, then this might be the memory to show it off. So again, there are 4 of those modules for a 32GB kit, and they will probably go into Core i7 system for testing, I think. But we'll see, I'm not sure. There's plans for them, certainly. And then this one, what do we have here? So this is 64 gigs of DDR4 3200, and it's this, so same memory as what we just looked at, but the 3200, and it's a 64 gig kit. And this might be destined for a Broadwell E build. So it looks like we've got 8 modules, I think. If I had have read what it said on the box, I would have known that. But yeah, there's 8 modules. So each with their own little certified G.Skill thingamajigger. And again, these will look familiar because you just looked at them 20 seconds ago. But yeah, the same kit, though it is the 3200s. So this ended up being the keyboard and memory edition, though we did have a case and a headset, so that helped break it up a little bit. But there you go, a heap of cool DDR4 memory. We ended up with almost 128 gig worth of this stuff, I think, plus the kit we already had. So there you go, a lot of G.Skill memory. Thanks to the guys at G.Skill for hooking us up. That'll make benchmarking a lot easier. We don't have to keep shuffling memory from one system to the other. So that should streamline things a little bit for us. But there we go, we got DDR4 memory, a very cool looking headset, which I'm very tempted to go start playing some games now with these. Oh, they're so comfortable. So we got those. We have a shiny new keyboard. Yep, so we got that. And the case, which is now under a ton of boxes and packing stuff. So we'll leave that where it is. I probably should get cleaning up now. So yeah, that concludes another episode of Unboxing Boxes. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We had some pretty cool stuff. Next week's episode will be a bit different. As I said, we're going to be pulling out the Core P3 system and doing a few upgrades, repairs on that. So yeah, that will definitely be interesting. And then this week, what do we have on the agenda for this week? So we've gotten through pretty much most of the GPU comparisons. I'll be doing an update to that if you guys caught the GTX 1050 Ti versus the flagship card from 2012, the GTX 680. I'll be doing a revision or update to that video where we include, because a heap of you guys asked for it, the Radeon HD 7970, I think maybe the Gigahertz edition card, I'm not sure, which is basically an R9 280X. But we'll be adding that to the comparison because a lot of you guys were like, oh, they've gimped the drivers, that's why the GTX 1060s is slower than a 1050 Ti, which isn't really the truth, but a lot of guys like to believe that. So we'll be either confirming or debunking that with the Radeon graphics cards. That should be pretty cool. And then the $1,200 1440p build's been probably pushed back to next week now. And yeah, I've been working on another cool video which looks at the impact of hyperthreading on the Core i7 processors. Namely, we've been looking at the 6700K, so we've been testing all the sort of latest games with a seriously high-end graphics card in the Titan XP, though I also tested with the GTX 1070 and 1060 to see how the advantages or gains from hyperthreading scale down as the GPU power becomes lesser and lesser. So that'll be another cool one. We've tested with just over half a dozen of the latest games. So you've got like Gears of War 4, Civilization 6. I put City Skylines in there actually. Battlefield 1. There's a few other games, but the results there are actually really quite surprising, sort of, maybe for some of you. But it's an interesting video, and I think that'll pretty much conclude the videos for this week. I think we have a pre-recorded mouse review from Matt, which will probably stick up, and that'll round out the week. And then we'll get back to unboxing boxes next week, and we'll do it all over again. There'll be heaps more cool content, so stay tuned, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.